able to put as much pressure on the black position as he would have liked. But going back to the game between Wesley So and PRAGGNANANDHAA, not that much time, and it still remains a very complicated position.
Despite the extra pawn by white, we might say I much prefer black's position, in the sense I really don't think I can ever lose it with black. I mean, even if we were to trade off the most active pieces on the board, the queens and the rooks, we'd still expect a draw. But because the rook is on this second rank, and that white's king is a bit more vulnerable than black's, you're kind of thinking in your mind, okay, should I be playing h5? Should I be playing g5? Come on, you know, knight takes f4. Draw, sure. But Pragg will be pleased that he's got this position. There was a little suffering earlier in the game, I would say, Miro.
Yeah, but also he will be disappointed when he finds out he was one move away from pretty much winning the game.
Wow, and that's a real shock. That was a stunning stunner.
For the time being, ignorance is bliss.
It is.
Rook
Sometimes
E2.
you should not know that you've missed a win, you know. Rook to e2, just...
Yes, and for Pragg, maybe it will be a first half that he looks back upon and says, well, there are a few missed opportunities. He was winning against Gukesh, albeit it wasn't an entirely trivial king and pawn endgame.
No, it was not. Yeah. Here, this one, I just want to go back for those who are joining us a little late. We were really shocked by the stunning development after rook takes d5. Suddenly and out of the blue, in a very innocent-looking position, lightning could have struck Wesley's position. With this move, queen a7, and suddenly and shockingly, the pawn on g3 is really vulnerable to queen e3 as well as queen f2, and there was just no defense. It was that simple. Queen b4. Pragg thought he had another way of playing where he could sacrifice on g3, and then the move queen c1 held.
Wait a second. What did he play? Rook e3, right?
Rook e3.
So now, is knight f4 a move? I didn't see it.
Yes, it's definitely a move.
Right?
Why? Okay, this is getting really confusing. Why would you allow knight takes f4? I mean, the rook, you'd kind of think it was time to play queen f1, and maybe after, just a second, what am I missing? I'm missing something. Queen b2, king g1, getting out of the pin, making bishop moves possible. The current position, rook e3, knight takes f4. We would have to trade.
But this kind of lets white out of the cage. So trade the rooks, and now the queen can move up the board.
Okay, you want a pawn. This pawn is maybe super vulnerable. Queen to b2.
I was thinking bishop to d5, try and trade.
Okay.
But the bishop is not anchored anywhere, so
yes.
I do get a bit nervous. Okay, so king h1. No checks.
Knight f5, and I'm afraid we might lose something.
Queen f2 is on the agenda. Knight takes f4, and the game will flare anew. Maybe it's still a draw after knight takes f4, but how big is Pragg's advantage? I like Pragg's chances here. Maybe I'm...
There is no advantage, I'm afraid.
No advantage. And
well,
he's done
takes
it.
F4
I mean,
played.
He's saying,
knight f4.
Look, why did you give me this golden opportunity?
Trade. Ah, well, because there is specifically, there is queen f1 after exchange on e2, and you attack the knight and you are aiming at queen f6 check.
Ah, very clever.
Sneaky move.
Very clever, that one. So it's a double attack. You're threatening queen f6 with checks, as well as the knight. So,
Okay.
It probably just forces a draw, and
Yeah.
so once
Wait,
again, knight to d4.
No, you don't need to move the knight.
Sorry,
You can move the queen. Queen d2.
queen to d2. So that means check. If you go to h6, I've got checks. And
No,
if you
okay,
go to
well,
g8,
he has retreated the knight to the center,
and I've got e6.
Yeah.
And
and that's just a...
this is the draw.
And, well, queen comes to f6, king to g8, and now
Again,
Wesley
a lot of
has successfully liquidated into
Right.
a drawn position.
fizzle. Not
And look, and
enough
Wesley has
sizzle.
zero doubts about if he wants a draw or not.
Right.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah.
Oh, 4 draws in this round.
More like 5
Cautious.
draws this round.
Although there
Cautious
was
day.
some dramas in many of them, including this one. Again, ignorance is bliss for the moment, but I
I'm not
don't
quite
know
sure
the
what
players.
the arbiter
What
is
happened?
saying.
You know, in this particular case, I would just play a 4-move
Yeah,
repetition.
five times. Yeah, what's the problem?
And,
Just so these
there we see
arbiters
the
won't even have a
handshake.
discussion, you know, like,
Yeah.
dude, we played this for 5 times, not 3. Okay, that leaves us with rook and knight versus rook, as we know.